Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's build starts with a gaming desk from FlexiSpot. This desk features a 55-inch textured carbon fiber desktop, and it also has a pretty unique desktop design which actually comes in handy, and you'll see why in just a minute. But as you can see, I saved you guys the pain of watching me assemble the frame of this desk, and I'm just showing you guys the installation of the actual desktop itself. Now, this is actually a sitting standing desk, meaning that it can raise and lower with a switch on the front of the desk. However, today's build is actually my new personal gaming setup, so I'm not going to be using the height adjustability feature of this desk. I'm just going to be using it at its lowest height setting. Now, you might have noticed that today's video is edited and filmed a little bit differently than my normal setup builds. I wasn't able to record a live commentary like I normally do on my usual setup builds. With that being said, if you like this new video format, feel free to leave me a comment down below and I'll keep doing them like this. Now, this desk is pretty pricey, coming in at $340. However, it is quite a bit more sturdy than your average IKEA desk, which is what I usually use in these builds. Next up, we have a simple yet effective dual monitor mounting arm, which will simply clamp onto the back of the desk. As you can see, this desktop has a cutout in the back, and that keeps the mounting arm bracket from slamming into the wall every time the desk moves around. Alright, so now we can install the VESA mounting plates onto both of our AOC C24G1 monitors. These VESA mounting plates are secured using 4 screws, and you want to make sure that the horizontal tab that sticks out is facing towards the top of the monitor. These are 24-inch curved monitors, 1080p, 144Hz, 1 millisecond response time, and as a side note, these are actually due for an upgrade at some time in the near future. Once you've got the VESA brackets installed, you can install the monitors onto the mounting arm, as I'm showing in the video. Once both of those were installed and aligned, I took a piece of black electrical tape to cover up the gap between the two monitors, and then I went ahead and hung up some LED strips as well. Now, there's a little red line on the front of these monitors I'm not a huge fan of, so I took care of that using a black paint marker. For the keyboard, I'm using a Logitech G915 TKL, which is a small form factor wireless mechanical keyboard. I've been using this keyboard for the past year or so now, and I absolutely love this thing. And we're pairing that up with the Logitech G502 Lightspeed wireless gaming mouse. Now we can start installing our Toner T20 boom arm for the microphone by clamping this bottom section onto the desk. I chose to install mine on the left hand side of my desk where my PC will be, but you can install it anywhere you want. Now we can take the boom arm itself and install it into that little stand by applying some downward pressure. After that, we can install the microphone's shock mount, which will just keep the microphone from picking up any banging sounds if I bump my desk. And lastly, we can install the microphone, which is a Blue Yeti Blackout Edition. I've been using this mic for a while now as well, and it's been absolutely fine for me, and I'm actually using this mic to record the audio for today's video. I also forgot to mention that I used some adhesive to install this USB hub on the front of my desk, and then there's a USB cable that runs to the back of my PC. Speaking of PCs, this is the PC we're using for today's build. Now, this is kind of interesting because this is actually just a PC case. I'm still waiting on parts to arrive for this PC so I can finish building it and putting it together for another video, but I needed to get this video done, so I'm just using the case as a placeholder for today, but I'm still going to include the final price of the PC in today's build as well. This will be a Ryzen 7 RTX 30 series PC build, so stay tuned for that video in the near future. Next, we need to assemble the gaming chair for today's build. This is black and white to match the color scheme of this build. This is a cheap gaming chair that I got off of Amazon a few months ago, and I actually have an upgrade coming for this as well, so sounds like part 2 of this video will be likely with the PC build, the new gaming chair, and the new monitors as well. Maybe even a different microphone, we'll see what happens. Basically, you start by attaching the seat of the chair to the frame by attaching 4 screws, and then you attach the arms, and then you will screw the backrest into the arms as well. I will say building gaming chairs when you have a camera in your way is a little bit of a challenge, but we got there in the end. Once the chair is complete, we can move it into place in front of the desk. And with that done, the gaming setup build for today is now complete, at least for right now. Like I said, there is a good chance that there will be a part 2 to this video where I will be upgrading the chair, the microphone, the monitors, a bunch of other stuff like that. And of course, I will be releasing a build video on this PC once all of the parts arrive, so stay tuned for that. As I mentioned earlier, today's build is actually my new personal gaming setup, which is why it is black and white. That is my favorite color scheme for gaming setups, and all in all, I think it turned out pretty well. I'm not used to doing these more expensive builds like this, so this was a bit out of my comfort zone in terms of the build, and of course the audio and the filming of today's video as well was a little bit different than usual. As always, the links to all of the products used in today's video will be in the description down below. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoy, leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next episode of Budget Builds.